I start with a lot of spinach. So here's my spinach, but I just go ahead and I fill the entire blender up with spinach. And then I add water to it. So I just added 3 cups of water, and I'm going to put on the lid and blend it up, and then I'm going to add more spinach to it because I'm trying to get as much of the spinach solids as I can. As you can see, it's pretty well blended, and I'm going to add more spinach. Now David says at this point when you're putting the spinach in, if you blend it a whole lot, at the end of your shake you will not taste as much spinach or hardly any spinach in your shake. Frankly, I don't taste it in my shake, but Doug says he can still taste it, and it is not something that Doug likes. So you can see I'm putting more spinach in there. I've got this is a 2.5 pound bag of spinach, and I probably will end up putting about 1/3 of it in, so not quite a pound of spinach, but quite a lot of spinach. And one of the challenges you have is in a shake is if you get too many solids, it's hard for it to blend it in a way that it churns and blends the whole shake evenly, and that's one of the things we like about a shake is when it's blended evenly and it has that nice icy cool taste to it. Okay, so for a 3rd time I am adding more spinach again. Kind of just shoving it down in there. So I think that might be 1/3, it might be half, I don't know. It's a lot of spinach though. Okay, so now that we've blended the spinach up really quite well, I'm going to add a couple of other items to it, just because those are items that I would like to get in my diet pretty much daily. And I think it makes it kind of nice also. So this is 2 tablespoons of chia seeds. They are a good source of the omega-3 fatty acids. Additionally, I add some pineapple, and usually I get the pineapple chunks, and this time for some reason I accidentally got the pineapple in slices. And this is pineapple in 100% pineapple juice with no sugar added. So there is a sweetness to it from the pineapple juice, but there is no sugar added to it. So the bottom. And then the other thing I do is I put about 1/4 cup of oatmeal in it. And for some reason, I mean, that's something David did, and I kind of like how it gives a certain texture to the shake. And so I'm going to put that in. And I am also going to put in about 1/4 cup of stevia. So, and you don't have to use stevia. You could use sugar if you wanted to. You could use Splenda if you wanted to. I just happen to like stevia. So now I'm going to mix it again. And I'm actually going to mix it again because we want this part of the base of the shake to be really, really smooth. Okay, so now this part of the shake has had a total of about 5 minutes of blending, but at 1 minute at a time, between having to add spinach, and the other things that I added. And at the end, I blended it twice. So this is the base that I'm going to freeze in the freezer so that I don't have to run through all of these ingredients every time I want to make a shake. And I have these little ball plastic freezer jars, and I just fill it up to the freeze line. And I make several of these. Now this is the base for basically, this will make 2 shakes. It's hard to make less than 2 shakes out of this base, so if you want to make only 1 shake, I'd recommend pouring half the amount in. Okay, so I'm about done putting the lids on, and now this is the shake base that you'll use all week long. Say, I've also got in here an equivalent to one of these cups that I use to show you how I make the shake during the morning when I do make it. usually it's frozen. It breaks apart really easy. I just take one of these bottles, run it under some hot water, turn it upside down, and then I put a cup or two of water, probably 2 cups of water in, now that I think about it. And then just stick a knife down in it and it splits it apart. Okay, now I'm ready to make the shake as it is finished. And I start with about 2 cups of crushed ice, and then I add water to that. So I am doing that, especially right now for this one, simply because the green stuff wasn't frozen like it usually is. So sometimes I just add water if the green stuff is already frozen, and then a little bit of ice. So that's just kind of as you like it. Next, we freeze our bananas in half, and we use a half a banana. The next thing we do is we add fruit, and we either usually use the Costco berry fruit or mango chunks. Mangoes are kind of our new favorite. They go really nicely with the pineapple base that's in the green spinach mix, and today I'm going to do the mangoes. Probably about 1.5 cups of mango. And the other thing that I add is this whey. It's protein powder. It's a vanilla protein powder, and I think it has either Splenda or Stevia in. I can't remember which it has in it. So there is some sweetener in this, but this does make a difference to have in it. David puts one whole scoop of the protein powder in, which would be 1 serving. I put a half in because I tend to not like the taste of having a whole thing of the protein powder in, so I just kind of get about 1/2 scoop, and I put that in because that does help me have satiety during the day and not get as hungry. And like I said, I may end up needing to add some more water, because if it gets too thick, then it becomes very hard to actually churn while it's blending, and you have to have that churning, and I'll show you what that is in when this starts to do it. I'm going to stop right there, and you can see that this was not churning over, and there's too many solids in here for the blender to actually get it to mix. And so I'm going to add some water to it. Sometimes I just take a knife and I poke it down in there and I pop the air bubble that's in there, but I can tell this has actually just got too much solids. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add this a cup of water. So there's 1 more cup of water in there. And this should actually blend fairly well this time. And this is Rachel and her friends Emma and Sarah. Can you peek out Sarah?
Sorry, I'm painting.
Okay, so let's start with Rachel. Rachel, how are you about the shakes?
Drink it every morning, you know, gotta get your protein in.
A little bit of protein, but tons of spinach, huh?
Heck yeah. It was
Okay.
good.
Emma.
Yes, for me too. You'll have to send me that video. It was good.
Okay.
It tasted good. Rachel was like, it's super healthy too, so.
Could you guys notice the spinach in it?
No.
I want the
It tasted
recipe.
So good. Yeah, me too.
I think it's because of the amount of blending that you do in it.
It was so good. I was like,
Okay.